said it was taking the day his brother.
Oh, now the let's just spoil a bit of the end, because we're assuming that people have watched this all the way through. The blade in the corner.
Oh yes.
Now that caused us some indecision over exactly how we were going to do it, like they did it in the game.
Because of course in the game, anyone who knows, it was a suit of armour with a bloody great big sword coming out of it.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've ever tried to and buy a set of armour with a ruddy great big sword coming out of it. It's not that easy, is it?
No.
They don't seem to be around that much.
And in fact, they're quite expensive when they are.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd better just have the blade component at the right height.
Call it an ornamental sword.
Exactly. But we went through a number of ideas. I believe at one point we were even considering having using the coat stand.
Yes,
And
the
having
coat stand
some-
you saw about a minute or two ago.
There it is again.
Yep.
The coat stand and making believe that one of the pegs was some sort of deadly scythe.
Could you honestly? No one would believe that, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's difficult to probably impale somebody on just one of those as well.
Yes. And so in the end, it's just lucky that you had such a deadly implement at your disposal.
Ooh.
And dun dun dun.
That's the stairs we like. Phoenix Wright the kleptomaniac.
But he's been caught in the act.
He has, and yet he just lets him go with all the stuff.
Yeah, but that's okay. We should stress, for the sake of implication here, that he has not actually caught Phoenix and Emma taking stuff out of his safe. Otherwise,
yes.
of course, he would have taken it back. He has merely caught them snooping around his office.
See, this is the point at which Drew starts really fitting his character,
Yeah.
because he's got that stare and that menacing look about it.
And when he has to lose control, he does it very well.
I like the music for this part as well.
I think Drew needs to take this as the highest compliment possible, by the way, that he is, when he loosens up a bit, he's far more talented than his self-consciousness will permit.
For anyone who missed that was Phoenix Wright having a look at the thumbprint that Emma gave him earlier on.
Yeah, no, it was a fingerprint, I think.
Fingerprint, sorry, yes. As if
Index
the idea
finger.
I can try and get some fingerprints from this.
Yeah.
Yes, for both of us.
So why are you here?
To finally.
This is another scene I really like.
You've told me nothing other than your guilt.
I'm not so sure about myself in this scene, but I think Danny does a really awesome job.
The thing to note about some of the detention centre scenes is it's quite a bland room, and it's just a lot of back and forth talking between two people.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing to try and
Make interesting.
yeah. We attempted to do it as best we could with liberal use of flashbacks, references to other scenes, and so many camera changes and shot changes. It's just ridiculous.
Well, in some cases because of necessity, when we had both Emma and Lana there.
That is also true.
But I think, honestly, I think Danny gives her strongest performance as Lana.
She seems to fit Lana slightly better than Emma.
Yes, she
Damon Gant.
has very nice composure, I think. And by no fault of her own, she was very nervous sometimes on filming because she'd never done anything like this before.
Neither had most of us, and we are quite an intimidating bunch, though, so that might have been it.
Yeah. Well, intimidating, crazy, whatever you want to call us. No, I just think that playing the uptight and poised character suited her nervous disposition in this situation better than playing the chirpy character.
Yeah, the chirpy, a little bit gun-ho, kind of ready to prove herself more than anything else.
Yeah.
I think Lana kind of strikes me as a very kind of resigned character, is the phrase I think I'd use.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Maybe not, but I understand that this cloth, whatever it relates to, can mean
Well,
enough trouble for her.
actually, no. I think I would take an issue with that. I would say that because of what her story is revealed to be, Lana is the one who appears to be resigned, but is in fact determined.
I guess so, yeah.
You must know when you're beaten. You've done a
And
fine
is,
job, Mr. Wright. You've
the
earned the truth.
the fate that she appears to have resigned herself to and not to care about is actually something that she's fighting to keep to.
Staring contest.
Yes.
I'm listening.
I think that's also an extra scene.
Well, I don't know if that. I don't think that particular bit is missing
There's
any
a bit extra
clip.
with Lana, is there not?
Yes, this scene, the version of this scene that you're seeing just now is shorter than the original version, the full version of which is the third deleted scene available on YouTube.
I think it was simply just when we realised the film was going to be bordering on 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
And for all the patience of a YouTube viewer, if we'd managed to get it in 2 minutes, it probably would have been better. But that's slightly, you know, unrealistic for an entire film like this. Not saying anything against you, great YouTube viewers out there, but I know the attention span of the average person is a little shorter than 2.5 hours.
Yes. Average attention span of a Phoenix Wright fan is obviously quite longer.
I would thought so, because the games require you to really pay attention for quite a long time.
Yes. But in the end, there were just some lines, a significant number of lines that just didn't lend anything either to the emotional journey or the exposition for this scene.
I think we'll have to agree to disagree. Guard, kindly show Mr. Wright out.
So you say that, and yet Phoenix Wright was the one waiting in there when Lana first showed up.
Yes. And the return of my dad as the detention centre guard.
Just giving you a little bit of a disdainful look there as well. Doesn't
Yes.
everybody hate Phoenix Wright?
Yeah.
I must say, I do like the...
Oh no, that was just my dad.
Oh, right.
You know, that's nothing to do with the
I was
character.
gonna say, I like the overshot she did of various parts of Edinburgh,
Mhm.
different times of day and stuff.
Yeah, well, I took the opportunity while we were in the high-rise car park. Yes,
You see something behind there which is of vital importance.
indeed. And here we are, cunningly introducing Emma back into the film as being, you know, completely safe and unharmed without actually showing her on screen.
I finished rebuilding the jar.
Because it was vital that we didn't have Phoenix communicate with Emma between now and the start of the courtroom.
Yes,
You can see for yourself. I've left it on your desk.
this is the jar that anyone who saw the broken plant pot would know could not possibly have been made from those fragments. And
Yes.
yet...
Colour matches pretty well, but there just weren't enough of them.
Oh yes, not that it really matters. I mean, the whole point of us getting the jar was that it fitted the Blue Badger thing that we had.
Yes.
Although it was vice versa, really. It was,
Yes,
we have this jar, how
we
can
got a jar that would have been fantastic for the job. We thought, right, we'll run with that and make a new Blue Badger head to fit around it. I need your help.
It's called the A-Team.
Yeah. I hope he knows where they are.
Here you go. Edgeworth in his...
His rental car.
Again, obviously back at Davison's Main's Parish Church here. That was
Yes.
never intended that the car was going to make such horrendous noise, but it fitted quite well, the fact that his nice car has been replaced by this crappy little whatever that is.
Oh yes, and actually I don't know if you saw, but his real car was parked in the background of the shot that panned just before he walked towards Phoenix.
The number of shots we decided to shoot outside this day, where the wind was just not behaving itself.
Yeah, it was horrendous, really.
You want me to help you today in court. If you don't, this case is going to be over as soon as it's begun.
This is the Edgeworth dilemma. Does he win, or does he expose the truth?
As soon as Gant took over the investigation.
Well, that much is true.
It's up to you if you want to help me or not. But if Lana's convicted, you'll never know what happened 2 years ago. Where's Emma? She should be here by now.
It's time.
Indeed it is. Alright, welcome to the end game. Now, again, I'm going to have to apologise for having taken the volume away, because this oh so cool slow motion walking sequence was overlaid with another REM track. One which I thought, again, fitted this sequence very well, but didn't...
We're just big REM fans, really, aren't we? Phoenix Wright.
Sorry about that. Or, hey, that's something you know about us, depending on how you feel about that.
I mean, either way, the slow motion walking in of the pair of them together, and then going to opposite sides of the room and sort of staring at each other, kind of emphasises the fact that they're friends, I say inverted commas, but also opponents.
Yes, they are a force united and divided.
And here comes the big bad.
Ah, yes.
Behind Lana.
Yes. Oh, Danny's going to kill you for that.
Yeah, I hope not.
To make sure all this unpleasantness is sorted
See,
out.
if he just hadn't shown up today, if he decided I'm not going to show up and poke my nose in this, he probably could have made a run for it, really.
Yeah, to be honest, there were a couple of moments where his words dug him a hole.
Yes.
So if he'd just not been there and not said anything.
Your Honour, can I request that the court does not resume? I have confessed to the crime, and the evidence has supported my confession.
Yes. I want to nail home here that the absolution of the fact that Lana is still dead set against admitting her innocence.
Your job is to follow my instructions.
Not if you're going to do something you'll regret for the rest of your life.
In that case, I no longer require your services. You're dismissed as my attorney.
Not my lawyer anymore.
Your Honour, if you
Now this sequence was filmed as part of our last 2 days at the courtroom, I believe.
I believe so.
Yes, the entire last day of the trial was filmed in our last 2 days at the church.
Anyone who knew the voices of the actors at this point, for some reason, apart from the judge, could easily have worked out that it was not Phoenix Wright shouting that objection.
True.
As you were saying.
No, I was just wanted to comment that I think we did. I do think that the second part of the second day is my favourite, but I think these two parts of the courtroom scenes were done incredibly well, largely because we'd had a hell of a lot of practice at this point.
Oh yes, this is quite late on in our stuff, and everyone else was quite keen, I think, to finish up. Not necessarily because they were getting impatient with us, but also just to see what it would look like at the end.
Yeah, you'd have to hope.
I'd like to think that way. It may be completely untrue.
Of course. And I think.
The trial is over, and in your
Yeah,
favour.
I think it's also worth mentioning that these days progressed rather nicer than some of the other ones because we had the fewest people on these days.
True.
Because I think we had the most people doubling up roles in one day. In both of the final two courtroom scenes, we had Drew doubling up as both Gant and the judge, and Danny doubling up as both Emma and Lana.
Speaking of which, here's Emma, about to give her testimony as to what's going on.
Yes, and here we have a room full of 6 people being played by 4 people.
My name's Emma Skye.
So it meant we had to do some incredibly accurate shots, to put it that way.
Yes, and then when it was discovered later on that we had done some inaccurate shots which showed places where people were supposed to be standing but weren't actually, I had to pan and cut and crop and all the rest of it to eliminate
Creative
them.
editing.
Yes.
Very good. Your Honour.
It's odd how Edgeworth appears kind of in the light, in the way the cameras worked, and Phoenix in a slightly darker area.
Yeah, it's just the way the sun was facing that day.
It just looks like this should really be the other way round.
Oh, at this stage of the game, I don't think.
Oh no, not at all.
I don't think either of them are particularly on the wrong side. I think it's the first time they've both been on the same page in a long time.
2 years ago, you said that Joe Dark attacked you in your sister's office. You go on to say that Neil Marshall arrived in time to stop Dark from laying a hand on you, and you were there at the precise moment he was killed.
That's right.
I'd like you to tell the court anything you can remember about what happened when Neil Marshall entered the room.
Yes, tell us about the worst day of your life, Emma.
Okay, but there isn't much I can say. The room was in darkness the whole time.
She's surprisingly calm despite that.
Although there was a little crack in her voice there, which I think lent itself quite nicely to the.
I just like watching Peter getting tackled by Steve.
Yeah, the tackle was incredibly well done. And I love how the manic expression doesn't drop from his face even while he's being knocked sideways.
Sign of a true actor right there, or a true maniac.
Yeah.
And given the fact that he enjoyed breaking most of our props, I'd say that the latter is probably the more true.
Yeah.